Welcome back to another segment of Behind the Scenes of the Waltons. Since we just celebrated Father's Day, I thought it only fitting that I do this segment paying tribute to all the wonderful actors who were Walton Fathers. Starting off with Jon Walton, played by the fabulous Ralph Waite. In real life, Ralph was the father of 3 daughters and a stepson. I did have an opportunity to meet one of his daughters who came to the set on numerous occasions. It was hard for me to pick just a handful of scenes or images that represented Jon Walton to me because he was all the best that one would hope for in a father. Ralph just played him with such compassion and sincerity and strength of character. He was firm, he was strong, he was fair. He had such integrity, and that was represented throughout the series. He wasn't perfect, which I also loved, but he was hard not to admire in his various different aspects. Sometimes he was the fun-loving father, allowing the children to enjoy a fun afternoon, playing with the hose in the front yard, and then taking us to the pond and sharing all these sort of just summer moments of in the heat and just having fun as a family. I loved these scenes from The Sinner from episode 1. But he also was so compassionate as when he had to console Erin when she lost GW. And this was one of 2 letters he had to read to his daughters. Of course, he read a letter also to me when I lost Curt. So 2 sides of this wonderful father figure. As Mary Ellen, I had a number of different scenes with him throughout the years, and I treasured all of them. Early on, he forgave me in the episode The Minstrel after being such a brat and causing so much trouble for the family. This wonderful little moment here. And then later on, in The Grandchild, when I share with him his first grandchild, beautiful moment of Ralph with one of his grandchildren. And then later on in one of the reunion specials, here he is with both John Curtis and with Ben's daughter, Virginia. So he was always terrific with the babies. I loved watching him. His interaction with them was so special, as it was with each one of us. And he had a different relationship with each one of the children, and I loved that as well. This picture is very special to me of him with the 3 Walton daughters. It hung on the wall in my house for many years. The patriarch of the Walton family was Zeb Walton, Jon's father. So he was not only a father to Jon, but also a grandfather to all of us. And he was also larger than life, and a grandfather that so many people have told me they wished was theirs, or that they had a grandfather like them. I feel like they were very lucky to have a grandfather like Zeb Walton. Will Geer was quite a character in his own right, and I loved everything that he brought to the character of Grandpa. I've often heard it said that this character, of all the characters he played over the years, was the most like Will in real life. In so many scenes, he was full of life and laughing and smiling and being playful and a little naughty at times, the way he teased Grandma, or the fun that he had drinking with the Baldwin ladies, always happy to go and share a cup of the recipe with them. But he worked very hard in the mill. Here he is with Jon and with John Boy. And he was always a leader to them and had taught them both so much. But then he could also step right up and be that patriarch, as in the Dust Bowl Cousins, when he counsels John Boy about what's worth fighting for and what's worth walking away from. And then later on, when he takes things into his own hands, when John Boy and Job do scuffle, and things are getting nasty, and he takes the 2 of them in hand and sorts that out real fast. In real life, Will had 3 children, 2 daughters, Kate, and of course Ellen Geer, who was on the Waltons in 2 different episodes. He had a son, Tad, who served as his stand-in for a number of years as well, so we got to know him a fair bit. and then he had a stepdaughter. The next generation of Walton Fathers began with Curt, played by Tom Bauer. Mary Ellen and Curt married in season 5, and then in season 6, Mary Ellen had their first child, John Curtis. John Curtis was born at home, and Curt delivered him. Curt didn't want to deliver his child. He wanted all of the safety of having the child born in the hospital, but Mary Ellen and nature had a different idea. And so here is Curt getting to know for the first time his son, John Curtis. And then when he is called up to serve in the war as a doctor, he has to say goodbye for a period of time to Mary Ellen and to John Curtis at the bus depot. Mary Ellen married again to Jonesy, played by Richard Gilliland. And then Jonesy became a stepfather to John Curtis. I loved the relationship between these two. He was very playful with John Curtis and always willing to teach him, but to have fun. He believed in that balance. Here in The Whirlwind, he convinces Mary Ellen and John Curtis to have a picnic with him. And then in one of the reunion movies, Mother's Day on Walton's Mountain, he and a slightly more grown John Curtis get all dressed up to go have their picture taken as a gift for Mother's Day for Mary Ellen. In that same episode, we see Jonesy taking care of a calf, and John Curtis comes in, and Jonesy is very happy to share and answer questions about what he's doing and about the care of animals. So he was a wonderful mentor and role model for John Curtis as he was getting older. So a great addition to the Walton family. As for the Walton boys, as they became men, the first to be a father was Ben. After he and Cindy married, they had their first child, Virginia. And then later on, in one of the reunion specials, Cindy gives birth to their son, Charlie. And here you see Ben getting to meet his son, Charlie, for the first time. The next of the Walton boys to have a family was Jason. Jason married Tony, who he met during the war. And Tony was played by Lisa Harrison, who was actually John's wife in real life. On the show, Tony and Jason have 3 boys in one of the reunion specials, and they are all named after country singers, famous singers. And then later on in one of the later reunion movies, literally during John Boy's wedding, Tony goes into labor. And I believe that was with their final daughter, Patsy Cline Walton. I remember 4 children. There could have been more. I'll have to do a little more research. In real life, both Eric and John have children. John has a daughter, and Eric has 2 daughters and a son. The last of the Walton boys to have a family was John Boy, played by Richard Thomas. In real life, Richard has a number of children of his own, his oldest son, Richard, and then he had triplets. So that was, I'm sure, quite a handful. Then when he remarried, he also had 2 stepchildren with his second wife, and then they have a son. Their son was born just a few weeks before we started filming our last reunion TV movie, A Walton Easter. I had just had my son about 3 months before we started filming that special. So both Richard and I were both very familiar with handling small infants at that time, which I was so grateful for when my character Mary Ellen was the one who was the doctor and able to deliver John Boy's twins when his wife goes unexpectedly into labor. So I was right there handling those very small infants, and then they were handed off to John Boy to meet first his daughter, and then his son, and then he shares a moment with the 2 of them with his wife. So a beautiful family moment for John Boy. So that is my tribute to the fathers on the Waltons, the members of the Walton family. And I hope all of you out there who are fathers had a wonderful day of celebration with your family, and I salute all of you. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time for another segment of Behind the Scenes of the Waltons and some more Ask Judy. Thanks for watching.